2, 1. And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. 291, episode 291, coming about 3 days after it should have been out. I'm so sorry. But Friday, I got to tell you, I went to go see Fall Guy, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired. And I don't even think I took a nap that day. It's crazy. So now here we are, sitting around days after Fall Guy, still thinking about it. Oh, what a fantastic movie it was. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it exists. So funny, so meta. You know, if you watch it, I'm sorry, I just saw a headline that said Kevin Spacey endorsed RFK Jr., which is... Anyway, if you ever sit down and watch Fall Guy, which I urge every single person to do, you might think, this is a movie, this movie's so meta. There's so much going on. Like a James Gunn movie. Ooh. He put out a picture of the new Superman costume. I'm just like, oh, Jesus. It's going to be a watered-down movie, I can tell you that much. I know it's going to happen. Another origin story. Anyway, I enjoyed it. David Leitch is a very, very talented director. Maybe they should make a Fall Guys movie. Fall Guys. You know, like based on the video game. Lee Majors and Heather Thomas pop up in a mid-credit scene, which was interesting to say the least. I think one person in the theater just laughed. That's all I heard in the back. How many people were in there? I'd say it was in a Dolby Atmos AMC theater at 1:15, a rare 1:15 showing for myself. I like it. I prefer if it's before noon. That way I can come out and it's like 2 p.m. But I got out at like 4 and the bike home in the heat. Also, so where I go, you can lock your bike up at this movie theater. There's roughly 10 to 15 to 20 feet. That's very long. 10 to 15 feet of a railing where people can lock up their bikes on. And there was plenty of room when I got out. There's one other bike was at the end and another one was on top of mine. And I just thought, what are you doing? Why are you, like, you don't have to do this. There's other spots for you to go to. It's ridiculous. We don't have to be so close to each other. Fall Guys was enjoyable, very funny. If you're the right type of person, you might tear up during it. I hate to say this. I know there's going to be another sequel. I know there's going to be a sequel. There doesn't need to be. This could be a one and done movie. But I know they're gonna make him turn into like the TV show. What was he in the TV show? Let me look at the plot of the TV show. He's a stuntman who moonlights as a bounty hunter. So in the second movie, he's going to become a bounty hunter. And then it's going to be about them shooting a movie on location, and he has to bounty hunt. And all the while, he and Emily Blunt, she's shooting her second movie or whatever, and he and Emily Blunt are like, trying to work out how the relationship works with him as a bounty hunter and a stunt performer. At the end of the movie, she's pregnant. Boom. Fall Guys 3. Yeah, I think the second one's gonna be The Fall Guys. And the third one's gonna be The Fall Guys 3 or whatever. The Fall Guy 3. And it's gonna be he's doing one more case because it's too much, and he's gotta do one more movie because it's too much on his body. And she's up for an Oscar or something. I don't know. Just something stupid like that. There you go, David Leitch and Drew Pearce, the writer of the movie. I've planned it all out for you. Just let it be one, but it's not going to be one. What else is going on? That's about it. Today, maybe I'll talk about this. I guess Netflix is a Joke Festival started, and they kicked it off with a live John Mulaney hosted late night show called Everybody's in LA. It is continuing tonight, the day we're recording this, Monday, May 6th, with 4 more episodes, I believe. But the first one was on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I guess, I don't know. It was a very funny, surreal, loose show, late night show. It wasn't as loose as I thought it was going to be, but loose late night show, late night style-esque show, featuring a lot of guest stars and a couple of interviews. One of which was Ray J, which felt out of place, but everybody's in LA. I wonder what they have on tap tonight. There's also which I didn't know, there was also a roast of Tom Brady that aired last night live, and it featured Kevin Hart as the host, and Jeff Ross told a Robert Kraft massage joke, and apparently Robert Kraft laughed at it. But apparently Tom Brady leaned in and said, don't pull that stuff again. I don't know. I think that's very funny. Netflix is a joke. As much as I harp on how there's too much coming out on Netflix and this and that and the other, I'm sure some of the comedians are, the way I feel right now, grateful that this festival exists, because now it is giving light to a lot of big name comedians like John Mulaney and Jeff Ross and the rest of them. But hopefully some smaller comedians are able to benefit off of this as well, because that's how it should be happening. Even though at one point Netflix was putting out one special a week, which is 55 too many specials, because they're not special anymore. Let's get into the first story. I should have clicked on it before I just paused and I looked at it, waited for it to load. This one comes from Consequences Sound, written by Alex Young. Universal Music Group and TikTok agreed a new licensing deal. They're working expeditiously, apparently. These are their words, working expeditiously to get the music back to the platform. If you recall, a couple of months ago, UMG, as I'll be referring to them as for the remainder of the story, or Universal, they pulled their music off of TikTok because of what is going on? This dog, buddy. Because of money and all that stuff. Then Taylor, so people including Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, the rest, they were no longer available on TikTok. Now, Taylor Swift put out her new album, The Tortured Poets Apartment, double album, that came out a couple weeks ago. And oddly enough, a lot like David Letterman, his Worldwide Pants production arm, in the 2007-2008 writers' strikes, when he came back and was able to produce a show without writers, Taylor Swift was able to sign up some type of deal with TikTok and be able to put her music on the platform, because that's a new album. That's how people discover her music, even if it's 31 songs, or 15. How much was the original album? 15 songs. It ended with Clara Bow. You can see I listen to it. I love Taylor Swift. I have issues with her, but I love her. According to a press release, the deal will, quote, deliver improved remuneration for UMG's songwriters and artists. So it was a money thing. new promotional and engagement opportunities for their recordings and songs, and industry-leading protections with respect to generative AI. Speaking of AI, I saw a headline today that said SAG was already looking towards 2026 when that contract would renew again. And in hopes of avoiding another strike, they're already meeting, I believe, next week or next month with heads of studios to talk about AI and things like that. Because that, from this point forward, is what we're going to be talking about, is AI. There are jobs that on LinkedIn and Indeed and everything, if you're looking at editing jobs or writing jobs or not producing, but if you look at any of those types of jobs, a lot of them say, do not use AI when you apply to this. We will know and all this stuff. I think it's very neat that they know that. Regarding AI specifically, TikTok will work with UMG to, quote, remove unauthorized AI-generated music from the platform, as well as develop tools to improve artist and songwriter attribution. Oh, they only pulled it off January 31st. It feels like it's been a long time. The reasons they pulled off, UMG pulled off the music off of TikTok was artist compensation, AI protections, and OnlySafety protection for artists and fans. OnlySafety sounds like a spinoff to OnlyFans, and it's like it's like still OnlyFans theme, so it's just like an orange cone, pictures of orange cones wearing those safety vests, the yellow and orange safety vests, and like safety goggles and a hard hat. Ooh, it's so sexy. I'm gonna hammer this home, but before that, I'm gonna put on some gloves to protect myself from the splinters of the hammer and the hardness of the hammer. I don't know. Okay, and that's it for that story. But does this solve TikTok's big issue right now, which is now, I mean, UMG was the least of their issues. One of the biggest issues is that they're still dealing with, they have to be sold off to a different company that's not Chinese owned. It sounds kind of racist when you say like, oh, it's a Chinese owned company, but they have to be sold off within a couple of months, right? I believe so. TikTok noted, as pertained to the compensation, UMG alleged that TikTok had proposed a royalty rate that was a fraction of the rate similar situated major social platforms pay, and noted that in 2022, it had paid less in royalties than Peloton, despite having a far larger user base. It's not that much. It's only about a $47 million difference between TikTok paid $220 and Peloton paid $267. And that was a big thing. When Peloton had to start paying like the higher royalties, which, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's move on. Peacock is raising its prices by $2 this summer. This comes from Dade Hayes over at Deadline. It's the second hike in 2 years. Speaking of Universal, NBC Universal, because we're just talking about Universal Music Group, it's hiking the price of Peacock for a second time in 2 years, just in time for the Summer Olympics. So that means that monthly Peacock Premium in July will become $8 a month. Premium Plus, which has no ads, download capability, and live local programming, will be $14. The annual plan will go up to $80 for Premium and $140 for Premium Plus. I've paid for Peacock the past 2 years. It's the only time I've ever gotten a yearly plan, the annual plan, because they offered it to me for 2 years straight for $20. It's with ads, so I don't get the local thing, but that's okay because I pay for YouTube TV, and I don't get the downloads, but that's okay. I don't need to download anything, and if I did, it wouldn't be on Peacock. It'd be on Netflix, it'd be on Disney Plus, it'd be on Max. It would not be on Peacock. Speaking of Max, I was on Max yesterday. Sunday as of my recording. And I was looking for specifically Cartoon Network things. And I know they take things off of their platform, movies and TV shows. But I went to Cartoon Network section, and there were, I'm not kidding, under 20 things. And the same thing goes for the DC section. I know I harp on superhero movies all the time, but I like the animated movies that they do with DC. And I went there, and they have about 30 things, if that. It's like a handful of the DC animated universe movies, like Justice League Doom, Justice League War, Batman the Killing Joke, stuff like that. And then they have the Batman TV show, Justice League Unlimited. But they're still missing a ton of things that they had months ago, which is ridiculous. See, this is why I like to buy things. A couple of months ago, I caught a really good deal on iTunes, and they were selling the DC animated movies, the first 30 from the they're doing a 10-year anniversary. And if you there are certain apps and certain subreddits that an app like Cheap Charts, if you just put your email in and you have an account and everything, and you put something on your wish list, or if you check the subreddit, you check that app, Cheap Charts, whatever, then you'll get alerted to sometimes when iTunes or Microsoft or whomever is Amazon, whatever, is putting up TV shows and movies, sometimes there's a pricing error. So sometimes you'll get 30 DC animated movies for $8, which I did. A lot of them were in 4K. Sometimes you get a whole series of shows. Like Steven Universe one time was like $5. I was so jealous. I missed that one. But there's other ones I've gotten. It's great. As of late, though, that's been happening, and Amazon took back 5 movies. It's fine. Who cares? They gave them away for free. I mean, and it doesn't matter. But I think Microsoft accidentally put up The Walking Dead. Each season was $1 or $2, and then people bought it, obviously, because that's, even though you have to watch it on your Xbox or however, people bought it. And then the next day, Microsoft was like, we're refunding those. And people were mad. I think if they give it away for free by accident, then they can take it back. That's fine. Because Amazon accidentally gave away an Ernest Saves Christmas movie, Christmas Story, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Right, you thought I was going to go another Christmas movie. And then 2 other movies. And I picked up A Christmas Story and 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then like the next day, they were like, hey, that was an accident. We're taking it back. And then people were mad. They're like, we're going to sue Amazon. Like, well, it was free. So you spent no money on something you did not have before, which is fine. Unfortunately for me, the following day, the day after that, I was thinking, oh, I should watch a 2001: A Space Story or whatever, A Space Odyssey, which is a movie I own on DVD, but they gave it away in 4K, and I thought I had it still. And I went, oh, wait, that's right. They took it back. So stupid. Anyway. The change will take effect for Peacock, hiking up its prices. July 18th for new customers. Existing customers will see their next billing date on or after August 17th. That's when it will change for them. The first 2 times they changed the prices on Peacock were in 2023 and 2020. Streaming services cost a butt ton to run. And there are rumors because Paramount did not close a deal with the Skydance, and now they're talking to Sony and Apollo. And there's problems there because Sony is not an American company, and I don't know what's wrong with Apollo. I looked at Apollo, what they own, and I think it's Apollo. It's either Apollo or Blackstone. But I looked at what they own, and they don't own a lot of TV stuff. Anyway. Or movie stuff. What was I talking about? Oh, but streaming services. So, but one of the big rumors, which is floated. This is floated because of the Warner Brothers, Disney, and ESPN and Fox deal, sports deal that they're doing, that sports streaming platform that's coming out in the fall. It was floated that Paramount Plus because that's struggling under Paramount, and NBC Universal's Peacock because that is struggling under NBC Universal, that those could team up and become their own pair. But who would take on the full responsibility? That's what Hulu was. Hulu was this. If we could just stick with one thing. Imagine if, Netflix was still on top, but we still had Hulu, and that was the catch-all for the NBC stuff, and then CBS All Access, I guess, was because they did leave Hulu early, and that imagine if Hulu was still the one place, the end all be all. Oh, I love it. Still love Hulu. It's my number 2. It's my number 1, probably after. If they stop pulling stuff off, the thing is, I love Max. I love HBO Max, as I call it still. That should be the one I never turn off. I should just be rewatching the Justice League cartoon. I should be rewatching Cartoon Network stuff. And yet they're pulling things off. I should be watching The Sopranos all the time, Veep all the time, because that's what I did when it was HBO Max literally a year and a half ago. That's all I was doing. Peacock is gaining steadily. It's got 34 million subscribers, but it's not in the same ballpark as, say, and I'm not even going to pick up Disney Plus or Netflix, not even Max. It's still lagging behind others. Every company is rolling out increases, and at some point, there's got to be a value proposition. Why am I going to be paying $23 a month for Netflix? Well, for one thing, they offer, it's the only way you can get 4K, but they also offer as much as I say this, they throw paint at the wall. Some of it is still good to me, and even though I hate that they're still doing not acquisitions. They're still doing, they're still picking up shows, what is it called? Syndication. Let's do it. They're doing streaming syndication where they're getting shows like, this is not a show that they have, but like the Goldbergs. That's the only show I could think that's really in syndication right now. But they're getting shows like the Goldbergs and ER and everything and Friends and Seinfeld and putting them on a platform. That's where I'm probably going to go watch them. So that's how they get that $23 a month, which will probably be, let's be real, by 2025, $25 per month. The same thing for Disney Plus and Hulu. Hulu does not really earn that $18 a month, I gotta tell you that. But I got the Disney bundle, and I finally got it all into one payment because they were overcharging me, and I had to call them twice. But I ended up just canceling everything and doing the actual Disney bundle itself. Instead of paying Hulu and then Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and then them refunding me, in quotes, $7. Yeah, right. They never did that. I saw the statements. But they earn that $25 because it comes with the ESPN. It comes with, so I can watch golf on Hulu. I don't have to download the ESPN app. I can get all the Hulu stuff and I can get all the Disney Plus stuff. Oh, I love Star Wars. I had to start watching Star Wars so I could justify paying for Disney Plus. Also, The Simpsons. I watch The Simpsons every day. That's not a joke. 34 seasons every single day, rotating on this television. I miss the shuffle button. Bring back the shuffle button from Simpsons World on the FX app. I love that shuffle button. I could hit shuffle and get, at that time, one episode out of 23 or 4 seasons. I was in college, and it was on Xbox One. And the movie came out in 2007. Oof. So that was 10 years later. So that's 20. No, I'm incorrect. I don't know the math. No, that was like, oh, no. Excuse me. I wasn't in college in 2017. I was in college in 2011. So that means, but that was my senior year. I got to do this math. Now, let's move on to the next story. This comes from Alex Weprin at The Hollywood Reporter. Even cable TV giants know that consumers prefer streaming, but they've got a plan. This is from the Sublead, both Charter and Comcast have rolled out streaming TV packages for a fraction of the price of their cable TV counterparts. but without live sports. The one thing that people still subscribe to cable for is live sports. So what do Comcast and Charter, the two biggest pay TV companies in the United States and the two largest broadband providers, sadly, what do they have to make when it comes to make off of a deal when it comes to people who are willing to ditch the sports, even though that's what they're subscribing for, in order to pay a cheaper majig bill? Charter launched a Spectrum TV stream, is what it's called. It's got 90 streaming channels for $40 per month. A&E, AMC, CNN, Discovery, Disney Channel, Fox News, FX, Hallmark, HGTV. They're part of that, and you're available to stream. They're available to stream to Spectrum Internet subscribers. They also have Spectrum Stream Latino, which is $25 per month. Oh, the first thing, Spectrum TV Stream was 90 streaming channels for $40. I don't know if I ever said that. Spectrum Stream Latino has 45 Spanish language channels, and that's $25 per month. But it does not look like you get sports with any of those. I mean, if the Spectrum TV Stream, let's just say that also comes with TNT and TBS, for now you get basketball on TNT for now, and TBS, and with TBS you get baseball and hockey. Comcast announced a new series of products under the brand Now, all caps, including prepaid internet and mobile plans, as well as a Now TV, a $20 per month skinny streaming bundle with about 40 channels: Food Network, A&E, AMC, Hallmark, and Peacock Premium. That's not a bad deal. Okay, that's not a bad deal. But you can only get that if you want that. If you're a current internet customer of the two cable companies. That makes sense because with the Xfinity Stream, I think that's what they used to have. That's all you could get that way. Like you could only get Xfinity's streaming offering, I think, or their streaming box via if you were a Comcast subscriber. You also got free Peacock, I believe. Do not quote me on any of that. According to Leachman Research, the top cable TV companies lost more than 3.8 million subscribers in 2023. Comcast lost more than 2 million, and Charter itself at least over 1 million. Now, and what happens is people either leave those and go to places like YouTube TV and Hulu with Live TV and Fubo and Sling, or they just drop all that entirely and pick and choose their streaming platforms, which is more likely the case. That same place also said that YouTube TV and Hulu with Live TV and others like it, Sling and Fubo and the rest, added nearly 1.9 subscribers. It's just the ease of being able to go, okay, I'm done subscribing to Sling for now. And then, 1 month and then the next month going, all right, I want to get back on Sling. You treat it just like a regular streaming platform because you're not tied to these, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not tied to plans, like a phone plan. Like you have to pay a lease. You're not tied to a lease for a phone for 2 years. You kind of are. I mean, for Google Fi, I bought my phone off of Google Fi, and while I could pay it off outright, I could also just finance it for 2 years, and that's roughly the same thing. And same thing for the iPad. I did that through Verizon, and they were like, it's going to take 2 years. Again, you could pay it off, but whatever. To keep the prices low, the skinny bundles lack the live sports channel that viewers know and love. And while Spectrum's streaming bundle includes news channels, Comcast's even lower cost option does not. But if you fall into those categories, if you are a Comcast or a Charter Spectrum subscriber and you would like the safety, let's just say this, the safety of being able to flip through channels without having to be tethered to to a cable box, to whatever, and you don't want to pay $75 a month for YouTube TV or Hulu of Live TV, then this is perfect for you. And maybe this will help out the cable companies in the long run, in the short run. I don't know about the long run. I don't know if enough people will turn to look at this and go, I think this $20 bundle from Comcast is for me. Because didn't T-Mobile have a Magenta or something like that? They had their own T-Mobile live TV thing. What was it called? It wasn't the Hub. T-Mobile, T-Vision. They had T-Vision. They've done a lot. T-Mobile has been trying to get into your home, be the one-stop shop for everything a long time, but I think I don't know. I feel as though a lot of people, if they want to pay for something, then they'll go with the brand that they know the most, or that is most popular, and that is the Hulu, that is the Sling, that is the YouTube TV. Versus, going with, hey, I want to cancel my cable. What are you canceling for? Streaming. And then Charter, a Charter agent's going to be like, well, why don't you do this for $40 a month? You can still get your networks. You can still get your channels. And then that person, if they're not savvy enough or they haven't done enough research, they can say like, hey, the Charter agents can say, hey, we offer AMC, CNN, Hallmark, just like YouTube TV offers. But then if that person was smart enough, they would go, well, yeah, YouTube TV also offers sports too, and I want to watch sports, or and Charter could be like, well, if you didn't go with YouTube TV, then you'd still have to pay for AMC Plus, and you still have to pay for Max, and like, well, yeah, I would rather pay for that stuff than to go with Charter. That's how there's going to be this fight for television. So like there's just the way to provide you television, and there's never going to be a middle anymore. There's always going to be someone trying to get under the other person, or we're going to have companies like YouTube or like Hulu. They're going to go, well, we can offer a premium platform at a premium price, not dependent on who you have for internet. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where there's interviews with your favorite entertainment personalities. And I'm talking about people you know and love and people you don't know and hopefully you'll love at some point. I just put out Sarah Hester Roth. She's great. You can check her out. That's on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can also see video versions of this podcast as well as the other podcasts, LinkedIn Logs with the Job Podcast, and Late Night Lately, which is the late night show. Find those wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at cpluscomedy. Follow me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you for listening. And I started this song early this time, so hopefully I get to just fade out like this. Bye.